Have you ever wondered why some people seem to reach everything they ever wanted and still feel lost? Why some of the most outwardly successful people you've ever met, the ones with the career, the car, the numbers, quietly admit they feel directionless? It's because success, when detached from meaning, slowly loses its color. It becomes achievement without emotion, motion without soul. Welcome back to The Long Game. I'm Nathan, and before we dive in, I want to take a moment to say thank you. To every one of you listening, whether you've been here since the early days or just discovered this podcast, I see your messages, your stories, your reflections. I read every single comment. Sometimes I can't reply to everyone. Between work and raising a little one at home, the hours are short and the days are full, but please know I read them all. And they mean more to me than you might realize. They remind me that what we're building here isn't just a show. It's a quiet space for people who still believe in long-term growth, in meaning, in patience, in the compounding of effort and purpose. Today's episode is about one of the deepest layers of that belief: purposeful success. Not just winning, but winning with meaning. You see, most people are taught to chase success before they're taught to define meaning. We grow up surrounded by the same script: study hard, work hard, climb up, make more, buy more, repeat. But almost no one stops to ask, why? Why do you want to succeed? What are you actually trying to create through your success? Is it security, freedom, impact, validation? When we don't answer those questions, we risk spending years climbing a ladder only to realize it's leaning against the wrong wall. And this isn't just philosophy, it's psychology. Human motivation at its core comes from meaning, not money, not metrics. Money may push you, but meaning pulls you. And what pulls you lasts longer. There's a moment in everyone's journey when the external rewards stop feeling like progress. You get the promotion, but it doesn't make you happier. You buy the car, but the excitement fades faster than you thought. You hit the number in your account, but the inner restlessness doesn't go away. That's when the truth starts whispering. Maybe success wasn't the end goal. Maybe it was supposed to be a tool. You see, success is like a vehicle, powerful, but directionless on its own. Without a destination, it just drives in circles. Meaning is the GPS. It's what tells you where to go and why it matters. Think of people like Nelson Mandela or Marie Curie, or anyone who left a mark that outlasted their lifetime. Their meaning gave their struggle purpose. They didn't just want to win, they wanted their wins to matter. That's why they could endure pain, criticism, and long nights, because the why behind their work was stronger than the obstacles ahead of them. When your success is fueled by meaning, failure doesn't destroy you, it refines you. But when your success is fueled by ego, every setback feels fatal. It's the difference between being on a mission and being on a scoreboard. And here's something powerful to think about. Purpose doesn't always start with clarity. Sometimes it begins with curiosity. You don't always find meaning. Sometimes you build it, piece by piece, as you live. It's shaped through your struggles, your relationships, your work, your choices. Maybe your purpose is to build something that outlives you. A business, a family, a philosophy. Maybe it's to serve, to teach, to inspire, or to heal. Or maybe it's simpler than that, to live with integrity, to create beauty, to leave every place you go a little better than you found it. Purpose doesn't need to be grand, it just needs to be real. There's a quiet kind of success that comes from alignment, when what you do, who you are, and what you value all move in the same direction. That's when life feels less like a race and more like a rhythm. You're not chasing, you're becoming. You're not comparing, you're growing. And maybe that's the heart of this whole idea. Purposeful success isn't about more. It's about enough. It's about knowing which wins are worth your life's energy and which ones are just distractions dressed as progress. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Success that isn't connected to meaning eventually turns against you. It makes you restless, anxious, addicted to movement, afraid of stillness. But when meaning drives you, stillness becomes strength. You no longer fear slowing down because you know where you're going. So today, as you listen to this, I invite you to ask yourself, are you building a life that looks successful or one that feels meaningful? Because the world celebrates the first, but your soul only recognizes the second. Meaning is the multiplier of success. It takes every small act, every risk, every late night, every bit of patience, and turns it into something that compounds across time, across people, across generations. When you build a meaningful life, your success stops being about you and starts becoming for something bigger than you. And that is when winning starts to feel like peace. In the next part, we'll talk about how to find meaning in your work and your goals, even when life feels uncertain or routine. Because meaning isn't found in the extraordinary, it's cultivated in the ordinary. This is the long game, and we're just getting started.
When we talk about meaning, people often imagine something grand, a calling, a destiny, a vision so big it shakes the world. But in truth, meaning rarely arrives with a spotlight. It starts in whispers, in quiet moments when you do something small, yet it feels deeply right. Like helping someone without expecting credit. Like building something no one else sees value in, but you believe it matters. Like staying kind in a world that rewards speed over soul. Meaning doesn't always shout. Sometimes it hums softly beneath the noise of life, waiting for you to notice. And yet, our culture teaches us the opposite. We're taught to chase visible success, not invisible purpose. We're told to measure life in metrics, titles, income, growth charts, follower counts. The world gives applause for the visible, but it rarely celebrates the meaningful. That's why so many people get caught in the loop. They're winning in the eyes of others, but losing touch with themselves. It's not that they're wrong for wanting success. It's that they forgot to ask, success for what? Let's pause here. What if you stopped trying to chase a bigger life and started designing a deeper one? What if your metric wasn't, how much did I gain, but how much did I give? Not how fast am I moving, but how aligned am I becoming? That's what purposeful success really is, a shift from expansion to alignment, from proving to expressing, from chasing to creating. Because purpose isn't about reaching, it's about remembering. Remembering who you are, what you value, and what kind of story you want your life to tell. There's a story I love from Viktor Frankl, a man who survived the concentration camps of World War II. He said, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." He discovered that meaning, even in the darkest circumstances, gives strength greater than comfort, greater than pleasure, greater than power. And that's something our modern world forgets. We have more comfort than any generation before us, but less clarity about why we exist. That's why we see burnout, emptiness, and quiet anxiety, even among those who seem to have it all. Because success without meaning feels like eating without nourishment. You fill yourself, but you don't grow. So how do we bring meaning back into our success? How do we transform ambition into alignment? It starts with awareness. Ask yourself, what part of my life feels full, but not fulfilling? What am I chasing that no longer excites me, but I keep doing it because I don't know how to stop? Sometimes meaning is hidden beneath old goals. Maybe that promotion you wanted wasn't about power. Maybe it was about respect. Maybe that number you chased wasn't about wealth. Maybe it was about safety. Once you see the deeper why, you can find healthier ways to meet it. Meaning grows when your goals evolve from impressing to expressing, from I want to show them to I want to share this. That's the shift from ego-driven success to purpose-driven success. And it changes everything. You'll start to notice that you're less reactive. You stop competing with everyone else's timeline. You stop needing to explain your path because you know why you're walking it. Meaning quiets the noise. And this is important. Meaning doesn't eliminate ambition. It refines it. It takes raw drive and points it towards something enduring. Meaning gives your effort a home. It's not about doing less. It's about doing what lasts. If you're building a business, meaning makes it more than just a company. It becomes a mission. If you're raising a family, meaning reminds you that the small moments matter as much as the big milestones. If you're an artist, meaning turns your craft from output to expression. Purposeful success isn't soft, it's strong. It's the kind of success that keeps you going when applause fades and motivation wavers. Because meaning gives struggle value. Without meaning, struggle feels like punishment. With meaning, it feels like preparation. That's why people who live with purpose don't burn out in the same way others do. Not because they have less to do, but because what they do feels worth it. Their energy renews from within. Every step, every failure, every delay becomes part of a bigger pattern that makes sense. And here's a paradox. The more you chase meaning, the less you have to chase success, because meaning attracts it naturally. People are drawn to those who move with clarity. Opportunities gravitate towards those whose actions are aligned. Meaning builds momentum. Slow at first, then unstoppable. Think of it like compounding interest, but spiritual. Every act done with intention adds a small deposit to your legacy account. Over time, those deposits grow, not just in what you achieve, but in who you become. That's what the long game is really about. Playing a life game that compounds in both success and significance. A game where your wins aren't random, they're rooted. And maybe that's the lesson here. Don't measure success by how high you climb, but by how deep your roots go. Because a tree that grows fast without roots will fall in the first storm. But a tree that grows slowly with meaning, that one can stand for generations. So take a moment after this episode. Look at your goals again. Circle the ones that still resonate with your heart, not just your ego. And for those that no longer fit, don't be afraid to let them go. You're not quitting, you're aligning. In the next part, we'll go deeper into how to build meaning into your daily work, decisions, and habits, so success becomes not just something you chase, but something you live. Because the truest success isn't loud, it's peaceful. It's when you can look at your life and quietly say, "This matters." That's the kind of success worth playing the long game for.
When people talk about meaning, they often imagine it as something we find, like a hidden treasure waiting somewhere in the distance. But the truth is, meaning isn't found. Meaning is made. It's created slowly, through attention, consistency, and care. Through the way you show up every day, in small, ordinary moments that no one applauds. The truth is, most of what gives life its depth never goes viral. It's invisible. And that's what makes it sacred. Let's get practical. How do you build meaning into your success so your achievements don't just look impressive, but feel alive from the inside out? It starts with a shift in how you define value. In a world obsessed with scale, meaning reminds you to care about depth. Instead of asking, how many people saw my work, ask, did it help someone? Instead of, how fast can I grow this, ask, am I growing the right things? The first question feeds the ego. The second nourishes the soul. Let's imagine this. You're a designer. You've worked for years, taking on projects that paid the bills but drained your spirit. Then one day you take on a small project that no one would notice, but it aligns perfectly with your values. Maybe it's helping a nonprofit. Maybe it's creating something that makes life a little better for someone else. You feel a lightness that money never gave you. That's meaning. That's success with a heartbeat. Meaning is born when what you do connects with who you are. And here's the thing. You can't fake it. You can fake enthusiasm, performance, even passion for a while, but not meaning. Meaning demands honesty. It asks, why are you really doing this? Not the reason you tell others, but the one you whisper to yourself when no one's around. Because somewhere deep down, you already know. There's a reason certain work energizes you while other work exhausts you. There's a reason some goals feel magnetic and others feel hollow. Meaning speaks through emotion, through energy, through peace. The next step is to embed meaning into your routine, so it becomes part of how you live, not something you chase once a year when you burn out. Start with 3 questions you can ask yourself every morning. 1. Who can I serve today? 2. What can I learn today? 3. What can I appreciate today? Those 3 simple questions anchor your success in awareness. They shift your mindset from control to contribution, from what do I need to what can I give. And strangely, when you start living that way, the universe has a way of giving back more than you expected. Purposeful success creates a loop of fulfillment. You act from meaning, you feel aligned, you build momentum. You act again from meaning. It compounds. It builds quietly but powerfully. And the most fascinating part, meaning gives you patience. You stop forcing life to deliver results on your timeline. You begin to trust the compounding process. Because when your work has meaning, time becomes your ally, not your enemy. Every effort starts to feel like planting seeds rather than proving yourself. You water them, nurture them, and trust they'll bloom when the season is right. But of course, there will be moments when meaning feels far away. Days when routine dulls your spark, when you question, what's the point? And those are the days when your relationship with meaning matures. You see, purpose isn't about constant inspiration. It's about remembering why you started, especially when the feeling fades. Even the most meaningful path feels meaningless sometimes. That doesn't mean you've lost it. It means you're human. Meaning isn't a permanent state. It's a practice. Like strength, it grows through resistance. You don't keep meaning by waiting for motivation. You keep it by staying faithful to what you said matters. Think about a parent raising a child. Most days are repetitive. Meals, mess, exhaustion. Yet within that repetition lies a deeper purpose, shaping a life. The joy isn't in every moment being fun. It's in every effort being worth it. That's what purpose feels like in the long game. Not fireworks, but a steady flame. It doesn't demand attention. It just keeps burning. And over years, that flame becomes legacy. Because legacy isn't built in headlines. It's built in habits. It's the sum of what you do when no one's watching, multiplied across decades. The quiet consistency of living by your values, even when shortcuts look tempting. Meaning turns success into stewardship. You stop owning your achievements and start serving them. You become less interested in looking impressive and more interested in leaving an imprint. It's the difference between having a career and building a calling. A career ends when you stop working. A calling lives on in others. And the beauty of this truth is that meaning doesn't depend on position. You can be a janitor or a CEO and still live with deep purpose. Because meaning is not in what you do, it's in how and why you do it. Every act, when done with awareness, becomes sacred. Every job becomes an opportunity to serve. Every day becomes a chance to align a little more with who you were meant to be. Purpose doesn't always make life easier, but it makes it clearer. It doesn't erase pain. It gives pain a reason to exist. And that's what sustains you through uncertainty. Because when you know your why, you can survive almost any how. When life feels like chaos, meaning gives you a center to return to. So if you're listening to this while feeling lost, unsure if what you're doing still matters, let me tell you something. It's okay not to know right now. Meaning doesn't vanish, it evolves. Sometimes it waits quietly for you to grow into it. You might not see it today, but one day you'll look back and realize every detour, every delay, every challenge was part of building the depth you needed. Because the long game isn't about getting there fast. It's about getting there whole. In the next part, we'll explore what it looks like when meaning and success finally merge, when your external results begin to mirror your internal truth. That's when your life stops being a pursuit and becomes a purpose. So stay with me. We're about to close the circle. When success and meaning finally align, something subtle but powerful shifts inside you. You stop chasing applause and start chasing authenticity. You stop asking, how do I win more? And begin asking, how do I live truer? This is what the long game of life was always about. Not just accumulating wins, but becoming the kind of person who wins, with integrity, with peace, and with purpose. Because the truth is, success without meaning will always demand more from you than it gives. But success built on meaning feeds you as much as it challenges you. It grows you, not just your status. It fulfills, not just rewards. Let's imagine two people standing at the same mountaintop. Both worked hard, both sacrificed, both made it. But one feels empty, and the other feels alive. The difference isn't the view. It's the reason they climbed. Meaning gives weight to success, the kind of weight that makes it real. Because empty victories collapse under pressure, but meaningful ones endure. And here's the paradox most people never realize until too late. When you chase success without meaning, you lose both. But when you chase meaning first, success tends to follow, not instantly, but inevitably. Because meaning fuels consistency, and consistency compounds. That's the math of the long game. You don't need to abandon ambition, you just need to anchor it. Ambition without purpose burns you out. Ambition with purpose builds you up. Look at the people you admire. Not for their wealth, but for their wholeness. They move differently. They're calm in chaos, generous in competition, patient in progress. Their lives don't scream for validation. They radiate quiet certainty. That's what a meaningful life feels like. It's not that storms don't come, it's that your roots hold. You begin to care less about more and more about enough. You choose quality over quantity. You choose depth over noise. And when the world rushes ahead, you learn to walk at your own rhythm. Meaning teaches you that the point of success isn't to be admired, it's to be useful. To turn your gifts into something that uplifts others. Because a win that ends with you isn't really a win. It's just an ending. But a win that carries others forward becomes a legacy. Think of it like a candle lighting another candle. Your flame doesn't diminish, it multiplies. That's the secret compounding of meaning. When your success starts serving others, it no longer feels like pressure, it feels like privilege. The privilege to create, to contribute, to make a dent in the world, even if it's small. Because no act done with intention is ever wasted. Every word you speak with honesty, every moment you choose integrity over shortcuts, every time you lift someone when no one's watching, you're shaping something invisible but eternal. The greatest lives aren't measured by trophies or titles. They're measured by transfers. How much light, courage, and wisdom you pass on. Meaningful success always spills outward. It becomes a force, a pattern that repeats in others. And this doesn't happen overnight. Purposeful success isn't a sprint. It's a spiral. You go forward, then circle back, reflect, adjust, refine. Each season of your life adds new layers to what winning means. In your 20s, it might mean proving yourself. In your 30s, building stability. In your 40s, creating impact. In your 50s, teaching what you've learned. And later, peace, gratitude, presence. Meaning matures as you do. The long game isn't about staying the same, it's about staying aligned through change. It's about holding on to what matters while letting go of what doesn't. It's about playing for something that time can't kill. You'll notice that as meaning grows, your relationship with time changes too. You stop rushing. You realize that slow progress is not failure, it's formation. Every delay is a lesson in disguise, every detour a teacher. You begin to see life less as a series of goals and more like a garden. Some seasons bloom, some seasons rest, but all of it belongs. That's what winning with meaning feels like. It's not constant victory, it's constant value. Even in loss, something is gained. Even in silence, something grows. And maybe that's the ultimate definition of success. When the way you live becomes your message. When people don't just remember what you achieved, they remember how you did it. Your calm, your kindness, your courage, your consistency. Meaning makes you memorable. Not because you stood out, but because you stood for something. So what does all this look like in daily life? It's when you choose the right thing over the easy one. When you keep your word, even when no one would notice if you broke it. When you show up with humility, even after you've earned the right to be proud. When your drive for excellence is powered not by fear of losing, but by love of creating. That's what turns ordinary work into art. That's what turns success into substance. And it's contagious. Because when people see someone living from meaning, it gives them permission to do the same. You don't have to preach, your life becomes the message. You lead not through authority, but through authenticity. That's how real change happens, not through noise, but through example. That's how movements begin. That's how legacies are born. So if you're still unsure where to start, begin small. Revisit your values. Ask, what would still matter to me if no one ever knew I did it? That's your compass. Follow that. Because in the end, meaning isn't a destination. It's a way of moving through the world, a way of working, loving, building, and resting, all with intention. When you live like that, success takes care of itself. You won't need to chase it, it will recognize you, because you've become the kind of person success is drawn to. Grounded, steady, whole. And that, my friend, is the essence of the long game. Playing not to win fast, but to win forever. To live in such a way that even when the world forgets your name, the echo of your purpose remains. So keep walking your path. Keep tending your roots. Keep defining your own kind of wealth. One built on meaning, not noise. Because the game of life isn't about who finishes first, it's about who finishes fulfilled. And that is how you win. Thank you for listening to The Long Game. I'm Nathan, and wherever you are, in whatever season you're in, I want you to remember this. Success that aligns with your purpose will never drain you. It will grow you. And every quiet, intentional step you take is already part of your victory. Until next time, keep playing the long game.